Nala Se. How important is she in the Star Wars universe at this point after season 1 of The Bad Batch? So we know that Nala Se is taken to the planet Darrow, what appears to be a Empire cloning facility, and especially after the Camino facilities are destroyed at the end of The Bad Batch season 1, Nala Se is looking to be the head of the Empire's cloning operations. I stated previously that I think Nala Se potentially creates Grogu. I think there may be some timeline issues with it, but I'm going to stick to it. But if we're thinking about Emperor Palpatine's grand plot on the overall, creates the clones so that way he has the ability to clone, and then obviously has Nala Se to then clone clones of Emperor Palpatine. So Nala Se, I think, is the mastermind behind the new Star Wars episode 789, where we learn that Emperor Palpatine has returned and there are clones of him, and even potentially, I would say, Snoke as well could be some sort of manipulation or some sort of genetic being that Nala Se created. Of course, none of this stuff is confirmed, but, if you think about it in the continuous Star Wars, and like I said, if you think about it in the grand scheme of Emperor Palpatine's plan, this whole thing, think about how long the Clone Wars was drawn out. This was all a plan. Don't mind the car in the background. That this whole thing was, planned out. That the Clone Wars was going to be able to establish the Empire, and then, having the cloning facilities to create clones of Emperor Palpatine. This is where I think, the Bad Batch is going to be connecting a lot of the Star Wars universe, and then as we get more Star Wars content as things go on, we get to see how everything is interconnected with inside the Star Wars universe. But I think at this point, it's safe to say that Nala Se has a much bigger background role in the world of Star Wars in terms of the cloning. And then, like I said, in Mandalorian season 1, we do see that there is a I forget his name, but the cloner who was working on Grogu has a Camino patch on his arm, and at the end of Bad Batch season 1, we also get to see other members of the Empire with that same seal on their side. I don't think that's, an accident. Things are pretty intentional in the world of Star Wars, so Nala Se definitely is going to be a bigger part. Who knows what happens to her? Who knows what happens to, other cloning facilities all over the galaxy as well. Where is Emperor Palpatine, doing these clonings of himself, and just everything in general. Maybe this is where the Bad Batch is going to come into play, is that we get to see the facilities where they're worked on. And we also have to remember in Mandalorian season 2, the Dark Trooper droids, I believe there's an episode where Mando he passes by some back to tanks where it appears to be cloning. So if we think about it in, again, the grand scheme of Star Wars and how Star Wars kind of likes to operate, this entire plot line is being revealed in front of us, and we don't know the end, and we don't know how everything is connected. Well, I guess we do know the end, but we don't know the in-between parts and how everything is interconnected, and I'm so very excited. Things are coming together. I definitely enjoyed the Bad Batch, and I've been enjoying everything new that's coming out with the Star Wars, and I think that this is kind of the creation of the unquote Filoniverse potentially. But nonetheless, theories will be running about what Nala Se is up to for the Empire, and I'm very excited to see it in the upcoming Star Wars content on the overall. Other than that, those are my predictions. Until next video, goodbye.